Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and we are here today with the all-new 2017 E-Class. And not just any E-Class, it's an AMG. Mercedes AMG E43. So, we have the sort of entry-level AMG E-Class with a 3-liter V6 bi-turbo producing 400 horsepower and 520 newton meters of torque. So it looks, I think it looks very, very cool, especially in this spec. I believe it's called Hyacinth Red. It's a designo color, so that's sort of a individual stuff. But I think it really looks very, very cool on this E-Class. Some cool details. We have these lights which have a sort of a blue line running through them. We have this quite cool grille. I think from a distance it's sort of 3D type thing, but it looks quite nice. What else? We have these very, very cool Yokohama tires with 20-inch wheels, AMG wheels of course, with AMG brake calipers behind them. We have a bi-turbo badge right here with 4MATIC. I'm sorry the car is so dirty, but I didn't have time to wash it. And at the back we have an AMG badge, E43, 2 exhaust tips, or 4, however you want to look at it. Let's open the boot, which is huge, very nice. And open the back, because this is quite a spacious car in the back as well. With these very cool Burmester speakers, which I think look absolutely fantastic. I think this is such a cool system. We have cool leather with Alcantara seats. We have red seat belts which match the outside, of course, panoramic roof. And let's get inside, because this is where it gets really cool. So, Burmester audio. And we have these very cool tweeters, which will twist out. It's ridiculous, but it's very cool. And if you switch off the audio, there it goes. So let's start it up. Quite civilized. And let's take a look at the options list for this car. So E43 4MATIC, Hyacinth Red, gotta have that. The interior is really nice with this leather. Well, you don't really need it, but these seats, by the way, are fantastic. They are really supportive. They are adjustable in a million different ways. They're comfortable and they're sporty, and that's a really nice combination. So, the base price of this car in the Netherlands is 101,000 euros and a little bit. Total price of this car is 137,000 and a little bit. So that's 36,000 euros worth of options on this car. But I have to say, if you are going to buy an E43, I would recommend getting it in this spec, especially the red on the outside, which is just incredible. I think it looks really good. I would get the comfort seats, ventilated and heated, so that's just $895. I would get the panoramic roof. I would get the head-up display, the widescreen cockpit, the Burmester high-end 3D surround sound system. 6,000 euros. I would scratch that, because although it sounds really nice, I have tested it. I can't really show you guys because of copyright issues, but if I go to this menu, swipe right, sound profiles, so you can select pure, easy listening, live, surround and 3D sound, and they are just different profiles and the sound really changes, but I don't really think it's that impressive, so I wouldn't get it. Privacy glass, 20-inch wheels, keyless go, driver assistant, don't get those because it's really annoying. Multi-beam, parking, yeah. So you don't have to spec it up all the way to 137, but you should get some cool stuff because this is a really cool car. Especially for the geeks among us, I am really in love with these screens. I think this is really cool. They just made it sort of one frame with two screens, and you can change everything inside. So if I go to this menu, I can change what's in the center, so I can get the AMG stuff in here with G meter and lap timer, boost, all that stuff. I can have the assistant in there, so that's your Distronic. I can get my trip info in here, and this is these are swipe buttons, by the way, so I can use this one to operate that screen and this one to operate that screen. So if I swipe right or left or up and down, I can operate it. I can get the navigation in there, radio, and you can switch stations. I can other media, phone. So with this menu I can decide what I want in this rev counter. So there's a rev counter now. I can have my trip in there, I can have the navigation in there, and I can have the eco screen in there. So this looks really good. Both screens are really crisp and sharp and quick to respond. Really nice. I can decide what I want on my head-up display, and I can choose 3 different styles. So this is the classic or classical or whatever, which I prefer actually. But you can also use a sporty dial setup, which will turn them yellow, and sporty with carbon fiber or whatever that is. And I can choose progressive, which is more futuristic. Yeah, so I'm going for classic. I think this is the best one. And get my trip in there. So this works really well. When you come to this, I mean, this navigation, this map is really big. I can use this touch thing to do a lot of stuff. I can choose how I want to look at the map, so I can have it like this. Hello, yes, 3D. And if I select the menu button, I can use all these menus right here. But I think when you start going into these menus, I mean, there's so much to show. I can't really show everything. But every time you go, wow, we have massage seats. I didn't know. That's nice. Every time you go into a menu, there's a cool sort of animation or a picture of what you are trying to access. So if you go for the climate in the back, this screen changes to the back. I mean, this looks really good. And I know it's a bit geeky, but I like it. And we have the lighting, of course, in the E-Class, which is really legendary. And we can select colors from this palette, which is really, really nice. And I think this is one of the brightest colors, so even in the daytime you can see this interior lighting, which is all the way around, and even up here with this Burmester speaker, it's in the back as well. And so you can use this palette to change the colors. I don't know if you're going to see every color now, but this is really nice, this palette. I think this blue one is the brightest. So we'll leave that on. You can enjoy some lighting. So let's go for a drive, and I will tell you some stuff about driving this car. I mean, this system is really nice. It looks very good. I'm not sure about the ergonomics of it all, but I think that's just a matter of getting used to. Let's get the map on there. So, as I said, this is sort of an entry-level AMG, so it's not as hardcore as an E43, for example, with a V8 and really stiff suspension. This car has air suspension as standard, and AMG have fiddled with it a bit and they have retuned it. So I'm in comfort now, but because we have these 20-inch wheels with those really skinny tires, you can really still feel stuff like let's get those really short ridges and stuff really come through. And because it's firmed up by AMG, but it's still air suspension and it still has to be comfortable, so it kind of has a weird sensation of not really setting right, because it has to be comfortable, but it sets and then it sort of has a bit of an after wobble. So you can immediately hear the sound. I'm still in comfort mode. When I switch to Sport or Sport Plus, it will get louder. And we have a 9-speed automatic gearbox, which also has been retuned by AMG for quicker shift times and more sporty driving. So we have a manual button right here. If I put it in manual, let's put it in Sport Plus, and I'm in manual. So I have to shift myself now, and if I let it run up to the rev limiter, it won't shift up. So I really love that, because there are a lot of sporty cars which don't do that, and I think that's ridiculous. And when you are using the pedals, the shift time is really excellent. I think the shifts are very fast. I do think that the response of the pedal to your movement, I think that's still a bit delayed, and it will do 4.6 seconds to 100 kph. And handling wise, well, I think this is a very, very, very good compromise. I mean, it's very comfortable, it handles well, and it sort of does what you want it to do. And it still handles well enough to get this quite heavy E-Class to feel sort of light. So let me show you what I mean. This is really, really nice. One problem I have with driving it like this is that the red line is at like 6100 RPM. So you are going to miss-shift a couple of times when you drive this for the first time, because the engine just doesn't give you any hint that it's about to hit its rev limiter. So, and it's really early. But because you have that 9-speed gearbox, you always get that lovely power band of the engine. But I do feel that it would be just a bit more exciting if the red line was at like 65 or 6600, and you could really squeeze that engine a little bit more, because it's a great sound. It really is. And the brakes are fantastic as well. They are really, really bitey, and they have a great feel. So the sound and the feel and the performance, I mean, this is a real AMG. It really feels like something special in here, and I think that's really, really important that it does so. Other than the tech fest of the screens and stuff, the engine, the gearbox, the steering feel, the suspension, it all is very AMG adjacent. So it's not as incredible of an experience as a full-blown AMG, but it really, it gets close and it gives you a great feeling. So this as an estate in this color, I would absolutely love. Nice people waving at me. It's because they think it's a nice car, of course. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, subscribe if you haven't yet, up here. And you can find us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for @AutoTopNL, and we will give you updates on what we're up to with the cars we're driving. So if you're interested, check us out over there, and we will see you at the next POV review. Bye, guys.